Hi, and welcome to the Oh my god.
Oh boy.
All right, and we're live. Welcome to Radio Mythoverse for July 23rd, 2019. You just heard the Mythics theme from Zalin Talus. Elvia Fletcher, the lead character of Mythics, is the thoughtful intellectual of the Mythoverse 3, having been forced to do her job with both hands tied behind her back, thanks to the Order of the Carolingian Cross. She must rely on every ounce of wit and resourcefulness she possesses to maintain the balance between the supernatural and the mundane. Hers is a fascinating story, and Zalin Talus did a fantastic job with that track. Now, the digital download of that track was made available in our recently funded Kickstarter campaign, so if you backed it at certain tiers, you will receive a copy of that song in your inbox along with the rest of the digital rewards. Now, Zalin's done a lot of work for a lot of different independent creators, including the Rags team, so he's quite the prolific composer. I'll put a link to his channel called Comic Book Music in the description below. Good evening, folks. I'm Dan, and you heard at the beginning Kara. She was going to read the introduction, but I think she's a little bit embarrassed, so she ran off. But that was going to be a nice special surprise. Sorry about that. Anyway.
Yeah, it sounded like. I was about to ask, was that supposed to be your daughter, Dan?
It wasn't supposed to be my daughter. That was my daughter. She was going to read the introduction. But I guess she got a little bit nervous, so she's a little bit upset now. But anyway, moving on. Okay. Good evening, folks. I'm Dan, one of the lead creators and editor-in-chief of the Mythoverse, and with me tonight are the other two lead creators, our head of community outreach, Brett, and our head writer, Matt, along with a few others. As usual, guys, I'm really glad to be on with you, so how you doing?
Oh, good. Very good.
Yeah, awesome. How was everyone's week?
All right. And Dan, it seems like it's stuck on the knee. It seems like the stream's stuck on the Neon Maeve right now.
Yeah, it is. A little bit distracted because I was trying to let my daughter know that everything's fine, and she's just a little bit upset. So anyway, there we go. Swapped over to the proper view now. So
yeah. You can let her know nobody's upset with her.
No one's upset with her. I'm just glad she was willing to participate. But
I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah. Want me to get her back? Want me to get her back and have her try again?
If she wants to.
Yeah, guys, talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm gonna go get her back and let her redeem herself in her own eyes. Be right back.
All right.
Good idea.
Yeah. So I mean, like my week is kind of started off sucking because I don't know if anyone noticed this on Twitter, but I've become 99% convinced that I now have a toothache.
Ooh,
Yikes.
Yeah, I saw that tweet.
Yeah, I've booked a dentist appointment for next Tuesday.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you have dental insurance?
Yes, I have insurance. And hopefully it covers most of the bill, which I don't know what I'm looking forward to less, the visit itself or the bill, because every time I've gone to the dentist, I always leave with my mouth hurting. Now I have to pay for it.
Sounds like they're not doing their job.
By a truck if it meant that I didn't have to pay anything.
All right, guys, she's having none of it, so next time. I feel really bad because she was so excited and she just tripped over her tongue. It happens to all of us. So
Tell her a stranger on the internet was really proud of her.
That's what I tried to do.
Well, a group of strangers.
To be fair, it's not like she flubbed a line in a school play.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
She'll get over it in a little bit. Right now, she's a little bit upset at herself. So anyway, I like to start the show off with some good news. So on our last show, I mentioned that I would be, as promised, sending out free promo codes for the Adobe Kroger Knight Errant audiobook to the first 20 backers of the Kickstarter campaign that backed at the top level. So as a way of saying thanks to everyone that gave us that really early push that got us over 1,000 on our first day, I have done so. I've sent out all 20 of those promo codes to everyone that backed us at the top tier early on in the campaign. So if you are an early backer at that level, make sure you check your inbox for the promo code and a link to the Audible store. And let me really quickly
Oh, hey, I got that.
You
Nice.
got that. Nice.
I
You
think
did?
I got it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, guys, check it out. Let me know what you think of it.
Oh, heck yeah.
All right. So,
I was wondering if I was going to be on that list because I think I did contribute pretty early on.
yep, you were
Same.
there. You were definitely there. So,
Yeah, I couldn't wait, so I just bought it.
Hey, I'm back. What I miss?
yeah, I will not complain. I'm glad that you enjoyed it one way or the other. So,
Oh right, I forgot. I was gonna tell you something.
oh yeah, that's right. You wanted me to remind you about Simon's laugh. So, what did you want to mention?
When it, I was looking at the character profiles that. Who's the artist that did that, by the way? Because they did a really good job.
That was Leandro Panganiban. He's the penciler for the comic.
Okay, well, the character designs were great. This isn't really a spoiler or anything, but there's a character, for anybody who is wondering, there's a character named Simon, and in the first chapter or so of the book, Adobe meets him, and he's kind of a jackass, and she says something that makes him laugh. And in the book, it describes him as laughing like a donkey. Well, my mind's weird, and I didn't think of a donkey. I thought of a sound that was based on a donkey. I just pictured Simon. I just pictured Simon rearing his head back like a black version of the 40 Kex.
Oh, nice.
Laugh that Lex Luthor does, making the Tuscan Raider sound.
Well, that's officially canon. That's what his laugh sounds like now. So there you go.
He is a sand person. It is official.
Yes, he's officially a sand person. So anyway, for those who haven't had a chance to check the book out, or for those who will check it out, I have on screen right now the page on the mythoversecomics.com website that is dedicated to the book. So you have here, if you want to check the book out before purchasing it, there's a little preview right here. You get the first 2 chapters here, narrated by Addison Peacock, and all the illustrations that Alabaster mentioned will cycle through the video. So if you want to get a nice little primer about the character that will be debuting in Adobe Kroger Dame Commander, here's the first story she ever appeared in. And it's a first-person novel written in her own voice, as though she's recounting events over a beer. And I was going for a fairly free-flowing, earthy tone in her narration. And we get a chance to really get into her thought processes, her personality, quirks, all that. And it takes place roughly a year after the events of Dame Commander, but the events should not spoil it. And it chronicles a particularly tumultuous period in her life. And Alabaster has described it on our last show as pain, pain, triumph, and pain. And that sums it up admirably. It's probably my favorite review of the book. So there you go. If
there's ever a deluxe hardcover, I want that quote.
Yeah,
on the back.
It'll go on the back. It'll go on the back. Pain, pain, triumph, and pain. So yeah, if you want a good primer for the character as well as an exciting character-driven thriller, go check it out. I'd say the best way to describe the book, aside from how Alabaster described it, would be Black Widow on Laundry Day meets John McClane in an episode of Jack Bauer's 24. So I'm real excited to hear what you all think about the book. Addison Peacock, the narrator, did a remarkable job with the narration, and she is, for all intents and purposes, Adobe Kroger's voice, and I can't help but hear her voice when I write the character's dialogue. So really exciting there, and I'm really glad to get all the promo codes out to everybody. So guys, let me know what you think. Rate and review it, or just roast it, or give me some good feedback. I'm really thrilled to hear what you all think about it.
I can definitely tell you what I think about that quote, and that sounds like a very bad tagline to a Hellraiser movie.
Oh my god.
Well, we always said that Althea is like Hellblazer, Adobe's like Hellboy, and so that fits.
Yeah.
All right, so another thing I wanted to talk about while we're in the good news segment is we've made some progress on the Maeve hoodies, and we've actually put up a neat little time lapse of the process of creating the ears. So for those who haven't seen it, I'm going to go ahead and play it here. And
I definitely would like to see that as someone who managed to get that hoodie.
Nice.
I would really love that hoodie.
Oh yeah, well then you should like this. It's brief, but it's quite cool. So let's take a moment here to watch the production of the iconic cat ears that will go on the hoodies. top.
Yeah.
It's amazing that that can be called iconic.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure the first thing that's going to pop up when you think of Maeve is that smug-ass cat hoodie.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say, I just really like that logo. That logo is just great.
I would have got one myself, but
No,
it is not hoodie weather like any time of the year here.
I
Tried that
was,
in school and it didn't work out.
Yeah, but as far as the logo, yeah, you were talking about the logo for the Mythoverse, right, Dusk?
Yeah, that's just such a great logo.
Yeah, that was the work of Lenore, who is currently in the chat right now.
Yeah.
So there
Whose
you go.
ego I'm currently stroking right now because she realized I complimented the logo.
Yeah, and I'll further stroke it by making it clear that was done by hand, not with any tools or any vector tools. Yeah.
Well, it was done with a computer, but more like all the design is 100% original.
Yeah, it really is. I love how it looks.
Gorgonite says Althea equals Hellblazer, Adobe Kroger equals Hellboy, Changeling equals Hello Kitty. Yep.
Yeah, that's basically it.
There you go.
Yeah, that parallels another conversation we all had about what the characters would say to each other. Adobe says, Althea, you're the brains, I'm the muscle. And then Maeve says, well, what am I good for? And Adobe says, selfies. So there you go.
Selfies. Marketing. Marketing, my darling. Marketing.
You're the mascot.
Who is it marketing to, though?
Comic book readers?
That has
We'll go with that. No, it's for comic creators.
Yeah.
There's no other alternatives. No alternatives.
Yeah, so there's the years being made, so that we're gonna follow that up with some more time lapse videos as we get them done. So there you go, folks. And real quick, I wanted to talk about Mytho Chibis. We have a new episode coming out tomorrow, and if you're on the Patreon, you've already seen it. So that allows me to segue neatly over into the Patreon. We got 20 patrons already. Cool. So basically, if you were a patron and you pledge at the $1 a month tier, you've already seen tomorrow's comic. And the same deal over on the Subscribe Star. Their sites are basically the same. There's one tier for $1. And the purpose of these two sites is to give you an opportunity to support the Mytho Chibis comic as well as the upcoming audio cast. That's how we plan to pay those creators. So yeah, there will be a new episode tomorrow, and I'm really excited. And I think, Brett, this is one that you wrote, and it's sort of a Rugrats reference.
Yeah, it's ripped off Rugrats very shamelessly.
Hey,
hey, Rugrats was good. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, that was my shit back in the day.
I'm trying to think if I can remember if it went downhill at a certain point. Like,
it did.
I think we called that growing up.
Big.
No,
well, I would say that there was a big shift in tone after Kimmy was introduced. Like, I don't have a problem with the Kimmy character herself.
Yeah, I would say like it's it seemed to like something seemed to really change. Something about the show really seemed to change after they added Kimmy.
Because when it first started out, it went into some.
I think I might have stopped watching.
Places.
I think I may have stopped watching before that because I don't remember it, Kimmy.
She was she was introduced like after the second movie.
I guess I'm drawing a blank on Kimmy.
Well, Chucky's dad, Charles Finster, marries. I forget her name.
Yeah, he got married, and his wife had a kid already, and so
so basically a stepsister.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that either.
So did anyone watch All Grown Up?
I did.
I've seen some of it.
No.
I remember
Dill was a fun character. Dill was a really fun character, but
Dill was pretty wacky. He had some good comments.
Where do you think my name came from?
What does this look like? A Rorschach test.
Yeah. Oh, and the vice principal was a former pro wrestler.
Yeah, that was pretty good. There were some episodes of Growing Up that I liked, but overall I wasn't really too impressed with it.
Yeah, it's just like you're either gonna dig it or you won't.
Yeah.
Like if the idea of seeing the cast of Rugrats in middle school does not appeal to you, it's not gonna hold your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my favorite character in that whole thing was basically Dill.
Yeah.
The
They
character,
could've just
the character
He just stole the show every time he came up.
They should just
he,
give
he
him
was
his own
voiced by
show.
Tara Strong at that time.
Yeah.
They should just let Dill have his own show at that point. Like he was
They-
the most. He was
that
interesting.
that would not have gone well. I feel like it would have wound up more like
Yeah, he was
that one
definitely
spin-off
better.
with Sheen.
Yeah, he was better bouncing off of the other characters, but the thing was that there was so little characterization that I feel that it really made him shine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the new
really
Mytho Chibi strip is like it's very Rugrats inspired. Like, if you grew up watching that show, you're gonna be like, "Yep, I see it." It's like it's very blatant.
Speaking of blatant, let me test something.
Actually,
Oh.
it's actually been a while since I checked up on. Oh wow, y'all aren't really doing a whole lot with this Mythoverse forum, huh?
No, it seems like Discord has replaced forums. So, what I just put
There's
up there.
a forum?
Well, there was.
There's a forum.
Yeah, I
do
think
have
I'm like the only one who posted on it.
I think the Discord pretty much took over for it.
Yeah,
I didn't
I
know
mean,
there
for
was
one, the Discord is has more real time interaction and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough.
I've
yeah.
actually
I mean,
gotten used to it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it had like such a huge nostalgia factor because I remember used to like role play on free forums, so it was like a trip. It was like a blast of the past.
Yeah, we did a lot of that back in the day. That was probably the most popular feature of the message boards was people inserted themselves into whatever comic the forum belonged to, and they would create their own little storylines and interactions.
Well,
Yeah.
well, that might turn out eventually when we get more people backing us.
And especially if my little project actually goes underway. That
Oh, yeah.
that isn't
Thank
my
God.
comic.
I mean, goddamn, we're getting close to hitting the triple digits on our member list.
Yeah, I mean, it's growing. We're taking our time. We're doing everything right as we go instead of getting ahead of ourselves. That's something I want to talk a little bit more about later. But if you did not catch the test I just did, I'll do it again. So basically, I just wanted to remind everyone that we are bypassing the super chat barrier by setting up on Subscribestar. So if you feel like tipping us for doing this, you can do so on Streamlabs. We're on streamlabs.com/themythoverse/tip. And there you go. You can make it rain on us, and all the money we get from there will go right back to the Mytho Chibi strip and the audio cast. So speaking of the audio cast, I'm experimenting with a new voice actor. I expect to get her work back to me on Friday. That's when she promised it. And Adobe is in it, and Addison Peacock will be reprising her role for a few lines of dialogue there. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yay!
Yeah.
Well, who else is gonna do Adobe? To be honest.
Hopefully, I won't ever have to answer that question. As far as I can tell, she's on board for the foreseeable future. So if I have to replace her, I'll be sad. But I'm just glad that I don't have to at the moment. So.
Yeah.
All right, looks like we got Neostar and Blind Artist. Hey guys, glad you can make it in the chat.
Welcome.
It's always great to see Neostar. He's a cool guy and a good friend.
Neostar
really
is
is.
great. His enthusiasm is severely contagious. We went on his stream like just before the Kickstarter campaign launched, and that was so much fun. So
I must have not have been there.
yeah, you were there. All three of us were there. Yeah,
Are we?
yeah, we were all three there.
Do I not?
I
The
think
only
we
one I
done.
remember. The only one I remember before the Kickstarter was Marmaduke's.
Well, I'm sure that this was directly before.
Yeah?
Yeah, we were all three on his stream at one point.
Okay, I'm trying to run through all the ones I remember us being on, and I remember being on Marmaduke's, being on Will's. Like those were the two I remember being there for. You and Matt were on.
You know what? I'm thinking of Will then. That's Heroic Studios. I have it mixed up. Never mind. I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
that was weird.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Okay, but
It's a
by the way,
senior moment.
Neostar asks, where are you finding these voice actors? I cannot speak to Addison, but we found Kylie and Lauren through Twitter.
Yeah, I find them through the podcasting community. You know, there are a lot of really talented folks there. Just reach out and talk to them.
Have you ever thought about going to like Casting Club or some other websites that you can actually hire voice actors from for some of this stuff?
Yeah, I initially did that very thing when I was shopping out for an actor for
What was the problem
for Addison? The problem was the cheapest one that was any good wanted about between $6.5 and $7 grand to read the book. So
Jeez.
Yeah, and
God damn,
they were damn good. I have to say that they were pros, but that wasn't within my budget at the time. This was several years ago. So I managed to find Addison through a podcast that my brother was doing, and I really thought she was a perfect match for the character. So I reached out to her, and at the time she was a beginner. She was just starting out on her own with her own podcast, and she was looking for some audiobook work. And this was her first big break to do that. So we negotiated a fair price, and
exploit the unexperienced. While you still can.
Oh no.
No, seriously, it was it worked out great for both of us. So
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, so in terms of other voice actors, that's where I recommend you go if you have a low budget, and you could work out an arrangement that will be mutually beneficial.
I think I wouldn't mind trying out voice acting, but all guys like this.
Hey,
Mike set up for like a set up to a $20 headphone. So I mean, not exactly sure how good I would be with that.
I can't even speak normally.
Yeah, Neostar asked several grand for an entire book read. Well, Adobe Kroger is 140,000 words, so it's longer than usual. It ended up being about 14 hours of audio. So yeah, they wanted about $7 to $8 grand for that.
I mean, I'm down to do a voice or at least audition for something if I can figure out how the levels on this thing work.
If you guys need an extra voice actor as well, let me know. I'd be willing to help. I used to do a bit of that with some other people I knew a few years back.
Cool. Do you want to try out for the first short story? There's a male character there that has a few lines if you want to read them.
All right. Yeah. You just message me and yeah, we could discuss it. I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, I'll be happy to see what you can do. So anyway, that's the good news segment. So let's segue over to the community announcements. That means, Brett, you need to announce the winner of the Me 6 contest, if you would, please, sir.
He's away at the moment.
Oh, I can't rely on him for anything.
All right, guys. Well, I actually gotta go, so I'll be listening in on the live stream though, at least.
All right, sweet.
All right.
Talk to you in a bit.
Yeah, fun out there.
Let me know about
Talk to you
the
later.
whole voice acting thing, and
Yeah.
try to sort it out.
Yeah, I'll send you over the lines, and you just read them in any way you feel is appropriate, and I'll tell you what I think.
All right.
Sweet,
Thanks.
man. All right, so
Later.
while we're waiting for Brett to get back, I'm going to go ahead and let me see.
And like I got the leaderboard here. If you want me to say who's the winner of the Me 6 comp.
Cool. You do that so I can fire Brett. That's great.
Fire one of the main writers, genius.
I'm taking his gerb. I'm taking his gerb.
Take your gerb.
Hey, that just means that we don't have to deal with the mic scream.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that happened while we were testing out GTA Online. I had to mute him.
So apparently, the winner for the week for 7/23/2019 is King Pickle.
King
Yeah.
Pickle.
Yeah, Dylan. Yeah, Dylan. Dylan's the winner this week.
Dylan. Nice.
You're not allowed to talk. He's been fired.
Oh.
I called on you to announce the winner, and you were gone. You have made a powerful enemy tonight. You have betrayed me and left me
It is
hanging.
It is not my fault. You didn't check the general chat.
Hey, man, I got 16 windows open. How am I supposed to keep track of that? Anyway.
I have been betrayed. Gorgonite has called me out. I have been betrayed. God damn it.
on nobody's side.
God damn it,
Okay,
Donald Trump's gonna be coming after me personally now.
We're gonna build a wall around Maeve.
The only way that I will have you know the only way that wall is gonna be any threat to her is if it's made of iron.
Well, we always do.
When the Mythoverse is sending over the
he said
the
it was
people,
gonna have
they're not sending
rebar
over
in
the
it.
best. They're sending over the changelings. And they're sending over the. They're sending over the. They're just
The vampires
magic,
and the
man.
werewolves.
And some of them are nice people.
We're
They're
sending,
sending
them all,
over their rejected paladins.
We're sending them all back to the realms. Like it'll be absolutely tremendous to have them gone.
It'll be a big, beautiful wall.
And I gotta say, that liver in the Adobe, it's huge.
It's huge, yeah. Yeah.
Gorgonite, are you hearing all these bad Donald Trump impersonations? I'm blaming you for this.
Mine isn't that bad.
No one does a better Trump impression than me. Believe me.
But aren't you Trump?
I have the absolute best.
You are
Trump
fake
voice.
news.
I have the best words.
Oh my God. Well, now that we've fallen down the Trump hole.
I think that you guys have forgotten about me.
Oh no, Bernie Sanders is here now. Bernie Sanders has joined the ring.
Oh no.
Oh, Jesus.
That'll just be Trump and Bernie
think
going
that
at it.
Maeve and her changeling deserve reparations. For
Oh,
the way
Lord.
that they were mistreated in her mind.
Matt, being the Asian guy, you need to do Yang.
No thanks.
This is the 2016 we missed out on.
Wait,
Look, Matt, all you gotta do is say, "I will give everyone $1,000 a month."
Wait, hold on. Here comes Bill Clinton.
My fellow Americans. You miss me yet?
Did you hear me?
No, Clarence here, get Adobe out.
Okay, speaking of wieners, we're going to... I wanted to segue over into our Artist Alley discussion, and I'll work wiener into the Not Safe for Work channel, although there haven't been any wieners there that I've seen. There have been plenty of beavers, not a lot of wieners. But if you want to draw that kind of stuff, make sure you post it in Not Safe for Work. So what I wanted to do this week is rather than
We're
just...
gonna draw Gavin.
I wanted to actually showcase some of the pieces that were in Artist Alley because some of them are pretty damn good. I'm gonna start by putting a few of them up here on screen here. Okay, so this first one here that I really liked was done by Mr. Stranger. Last week he actually took the Me 6 competition, so he's already going up in the world. So this here is kind of like an eldritch horror. But it's like set in a beautiful Disney meadow with greens and like a pretty day behind it, and it's like glowing gold, and it's like this insect isn't afraid to perch on it. So I don't know how threatening of an eldritch horror this is, but maybe that's the point. What do you guys think? Maybe it's supposed to be luring you in.
I think it's kind of interesting that it does go down the eldritch Lovecrafting route of being very unnatural, but set to a backdrop of something incredibly natural and idyllic to the point that a dragonfly would just casually rest on it.
Yeah,
it's actually it's a
kinda
very nice clash.
Yes,
I mean it's all like Stephen King's horror stories, because like when you read his horror stories, he starts you out in what looks like a normal place, and it's kind of there to lull you into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
It's like, even though it seems like it doesn't belong in this reality, it can easily pass off as being natural here. It's very unsettling.
Yeah, it's one of those things that are creepy and yet you can't stop looking at it. It's just one of those like, what is this thing doing? Like, is that light on the end of its tongue luring in these animals so that it can devour them?
Kind of looks to me like the aftermath of some battle. Like, haha, we killed the big evil thing, and now its skull is just gonna rot in some field.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe. It does seem like a big old skull on like a pike or something.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it does. It was the tongue then that threw me off, because that's still a meaty part that appears to be moving around, and it seems.
And I guess those eyes, unless like an insect eyes, where it's just more like a like a leftover scale protecting it or something.
Yeah, this is cool. Overall, I really like the stuff that he's been putting in there.
It's also missing a horn, if you notice, unless it's supposed to only have one horn.
Who knows?
Oh no, it looks broken off at the left side. Yeah, he is missing another horn.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I really dig
there's
that
a
one.
lot to digest with this.
Yep. Every time you look at it, there's something new that, like, I didn't even really notice down by its neck that is like a vertebrate, like just a bone. So that lends credence to your theory that it is in fact a skull. But it's that tongue that always throws me off, and the eyes, unless those are sockets.
Oh. Well, maybe the thing is like still alive is just hanging out as a skull.
Neat.
Hey,
It's always an interesting idea.
Yeah, I like it. Overall, it's got a pretty cool aesthetic. So
you should show.
I'm gonna go over to Carl the Amateur real quick. This was the one that really caught my eye. This one right here. This is it's kind of like Popeye meets Buck Rogers. It's it's a combination of those old like Max Fleischer era animation where everything was very surreal and no one really followed any rules because everyone was just kind of winging it, because the art form was so new at that point. And everyone was just doing a lot of cool experimental stuff, and I love the design of that rocket ship. That's right out of the serial.
It's like a cross between a submarine and a canvas bomber.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. A submarine,
yeah, like an old World War I canvas plane bomber.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of reminds me of like how you might picture like Captain Nemo's Nautilus looking if it were a sub, like you were saying. It's got all these cool little ornate windows on it, and the fins that are unnecessarily showy. But yeah, that's cool. And I love the fact that it's in sepia tone. That really helps drive the old-timey feel home too. And
even including how the paneling works.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't even thought to mention that. But yeah, the panels are like very organic, and they sort of fit together like a puzzle in a very pleasing way.
That is very old timey comic right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
instead of like the more modern attempt would kind of overlap each other in like a somewhat stylish way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is just one example of the stuff that Carl's been putting in there. And if I put up everything that I really liked and talked about, we'd be here all night. But I really love what Carl's making. So if anyone has,
I love how that buff sailor with the chest on his arm really does look like a younger version of Popeye.
Yeah, and the guy on the left is kind of like a younger version of Brutus. So.
Yeah, it's like Brutus and Popeye before they became enemies. They were actually serving on the same ship or something.
Yeah, I really like this.
Just blame those women. Women ruined the best of friendships.
Oh, of course. Once women enter the picture, forget about it. But
before hoes.
Miss Elizabeth is why the Mega Powers broke up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Carl actually has a story that he's working on, but if anyone has a story that would fit the style, absolutely. Yes. If anyone has a script for him, please get it together. If he doesn't have one of his own, I don't know the story with him, but please let's get some comics done in this style. This is great. I love it.
Friggin' retro is all hell.
Yeah, I love it.
Speaking of retro, you should show that sprite I did of Maeve.
Yes.
Oh,
I have that up my sleeve. I will show that. But interestingly enough, speaking of retro, here is another one. This is Stranger Things as an 80s anime that Dylan did.
Oh.
And I love the whole series. This is the first of, I think, 4 illustrations that were in this theme. The other ones were sort of like Netflix covers that showed the...
like the style of like old, like early 80s manga.
Mm-hmm.
I did those months before season 3 came out.
apparently, Neostar has an idea for Carl. If get Carl on the horn.
Yeah, absolutely. Touch base with him, dude. If you're in the Discord, he's there.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, he's also on Twitter. He's easy to find on Twitter.
Yeah.
I can try and give Neostar an invite code to the Discord to get him in here.
Oh.
Why not?
Who knows?
Well, yeah. If you have an idea and he's up for it, I'd love to see something come of that. So yeah. I really love this style here that we're looking at because it reminds me of I don't know if you ever watched Belle and Sebastian or those old Nickelodeon animes, but it does remind me a lot of that. Reminds me a lot of
I
that.
did.
Yeah, you're right. That does bring up some nostalgic feelings for me, more so than the show did itself, because the show itself was just trying too hard to make you remember the 80s. But this is cool. I like this.
Oh, the anime drawing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and mention this one because this one specifically that Dylan did does not feature abs, so it's kind of an anomaly.
No abs.
Yeah, I actually named it Dylan No Abs, so I knew which one it was.
Oh.
Yeah, if you have seen like Dylan's drawings of the 3 Mythoverse girls.
Dylan No
Well,
Abs sounds like it could be a great anime title.
The
The Abs of Dylan.
Well, Dylan, you
Dylan
may have been typecast as an artist. I'm sorry.
What, to draw abs?
Yep.
Apparently.
Hey, I'm fine with that.
Yep. So the reason I thought this was notable is like I think we recently showed Dylan's work where he drew all 3 of the Mythoverse ladies after a workout, and they all had abs that went all the way to China. They were just so they were so prominent.
Damn. Muscle
Adobe
women
was
over
happy.
here.
Yeah, I mean they weren't like overly huge. They were just very well toned. Let's just put it that way. So
Yeah, I'll just say there's a piece of Maeve that Dylan recently did that is in the Mythoverse After Dark channel, which is where all the loot art goes, which we can't show for obvious reasons. But I'll just say I appreciate that Dylan did not go nuts with Maeve's proportions.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and it's canonical.
Yeah, Maeve's lewd cherry has officially been popped. Let's just put it that way.
Oh no.
Yeah, we knew it was going to happen eventually. It's just let's just say he made it very clear that she was 18. So
yeah, as long as she's 18 and over, I don't care.
Yeah. So what I'm showing right now is a page from blind artist comic Zompires. He posted like all 24 pages of this book that he did when he was younger, and I kind of like. It looks like it was drawn with a charcoal pencil. You know, it's like a very heavy blacks and grays, and
It's like a gothic Lovecraftian zombie apocalypse here.
Yep, combination of vampires and zombies, I guess, hence the name. So,
Dude, that's pretty sick. Can you like put out a link where to find this?
I don't know where I can find it other than in the Discord.
Discord chat.
Yeah, he put it in Artist Alley. If you scroll back a bit, the entire book is up there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Gorgonite.
Pretends to be sad about the news that internet innocence has been.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Gorgonite.
Gorgonite's always there to pick you up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Except for last week.
Yeah, that last week had to wait. Xenolith and Demon Eater had to carry the chat.
They had to do everything about.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, they had to do all the work for Gorgonite.
Oh yeah, all the heavy lifting, and those are some mighty big shoes to fill.
Yep.
So
Curse you, Matt.
Nice. So the last one I want to show is another one by Blind Artist, and I like this one a lot because he has this story starring this girl named Luna who's trapped in a wasteland, and she somehow has a magical axe and a robot friend that enable her to slay kaiju over and over again, and that's kind of the plot of the book. And what he did was he drew the Mythoverse trio there helping Luna out, and Adobe is carrying a pistol, and of course she would, and Maeve is sitting there next to Luna, comforting her, and Althea's down there. And there's just a nice little fire going. So it's kind of like you see in the background that there's a lot of destruction, like a building is falling over, but they're just having a nice moment after they slaughtered a giant monster. So
kaiju hunting is better with friends.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, and easier.
And easier. Thank you, Monster Hunter. Very cool.
Yes. So there's some of the pieces that I wanted to showcase. There's so many of them, but I wanted to start doing this because I really appreciate the level of talent that we have in this very tightly knit community, and I'm very eager to see more of it. So I'm going to make this a regular segment. So if you want us to talk about your art and show it up on the stream, just put it in the Artist Alley channel and make sure that I'll make sure it's okay with you to show it off, and I'll be happy to do that. So one of the reasons I wanted to show off all this art also is I wanted to put out to all of the artistically inclined, talented folks that Matt, Brett, and I have been discussing a weekly art challenge that we would like to put to the artistic community of the Mythoverse to see what you could come up with. So to that end, we're going to officially announce the first artistic challenge here on Radio Mythoverse, and its theme is Battle on the Beach. So I'm going to put up a picture here that was done by Leandro Seva, an artist that I commissioned just before we launched our campaign to do some artwork for the campaign. And you've probably seen this picture cycling through the slideshow in the other view. And it's Adobe and Althea with their and they've had their peaceful day at the beach interrupted by some off-screen monster, and Adobe somehow pulled swords out of that suit, and it's because her top is larger on the inside, and Althea is winding up a spell. So what we'd like to see the talented folks in this community come up with by next week's show is an illustration along these lines, along this theme, like the Mythoverse ladies at the beach getting ready to kick some supernatural ass. So it could be one of the ladies, or all three of the ladies, or two of them, any combination you want, as long as they're in swimwear, as long as they're very clearly enjoying the nice summer weather, and as long as they're fighting some evil monster. So there you go. So let's see what you got, guys.
All right.
Yeah. So
is it just Althea and Adobe?
It can be either one of the three girls. It can be Maeve, Althea, and Adobe, or any combination thereof.
Is it bad that I can imagine Maeve in like a one-piece swimsuit with still having the cat face on it?
Pretty much.
Might as well put on everything.
To be honest, wardrobe. To be honest, I kind of see, like, even if Maeve as a one piece, she's still gonna like put a T-shirt over it.
Yeah,
I see Maeve.
Maybe also have like that weird skirt thing some of those bikinis and one pieces have.
Yeah, well,
I see her. I see her in a rash guard.
She should wear a floaty.
Floaty.
Like I said, I don't know. My head, in my head, I just see her. If she puts on a bathing suit, it's just a one piece with a shirt covering it.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I see.
So yeah, we leave it up to your imaginations. Anything goes as long as it features one or more of these three ladies in the situation described. So go nuts. Let's see what you got. So
got it.
Nice. So that's exciting. So I think that will wrap up the community update portion of the show. So let's really quickly go over our project progress for all three of our main titles. I can say that on my end, I have page 14 and 15 completed, fully inked. They are amazing. There's some seriously cool action shots in these pages that I can't wait to show you. I sort of teased out some of them in the book updates channel, but I don't want to ruin it, so I'm only showing little bits and pieces. Leandro is working on page 16 right now, and I should be getting that within the next couple of days. So at the rate he's going, he should be done by early September, and then it's all about lettering. So I think Adobe Kroger's on task. So with that said, Brett, are there anything new to talk about on the Changeling front?
Not really. I'm still waiting on more inked pages from Victor. I did get in touch with Zeno about Ginger's progress with Sporkman. She's about 50 to 60% done with that book. I'm just gonna be handing her the pages as Victor completes them, just because I think it's just best to get her working as soon as possible.
Cool. Well, that's good. Matt, I know there was a slight setback last time we talked about Mythics, but knowing Beth, she's probably back on track already. Is there anything new that you can tell everyone about in terms of progress for Mythics?
Not at the moment. Right now, it's just a little bit of a delay, but we should have it all done by the end of August.
Okay, great. That would be great.
Yeah.
Real quick, Gorgonite, I can't let this go. Someone make a schematic of Adobe's Pocket Dimension bra for science. Yep.
Oh boy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
what now?
Well,
For science. Someone make a schematic of Adobe's Pocket Dimension bra for science.
So someone needs to explain to me where is he getting that from? Because I don't remember that in the book.
Okay, no. It was an offhand comment I made just now about where did Adobe pull her swords out of in this picture. It's because her bra is bigger on the inside. That's all. And that's sort of an offhand joke about if you've seen in some of the updates I posted a little while back, Adobe's sheaths are actually very small. They're about the size of a pistol sheath, and they are capable of holding the entire weapon. And they are larger on the inside, and that is for convenience when she's moving around, so she does not have to carry the long swords.
Amen. All women naturally have 2 pocket dimensions on their person. The bra and the purse.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
What were you guys thinking?
I don't know, but I'm gonna stop before I get in trouble and get the stream flag. So.
I think we might be already in trouble.
Yeah. All right. So so far it looks like Mythics is going to be on task, and she's doing all the lettering too. So after the artwork is done, you don't have to hand it off to a letterer. It's just going to be completely done.
Yep. Which is the nice thing about working with her.
Yeah. She does it all. She's a very hard worker. So yeah, after I'm done, like I said, I got to hand it off to Eric Weathers, but he works really, really fast. When I gave him the first 6 pages that were complete before the campaign started, he had them all lettered within like a day or two. So he's very fast. So that shouldn't cause any delays. So that's the updates we have for the comics. Now we do have unfortunately a little bit of bad news about another piece of content we wanted to have for you soon, and that is the Maeve Twitch stream. I spoke with Brett earlier today, and Kylie has unfortunately reported that her laptop is unable to run Minecraft locally, let alone on stream. So I'm thinking that I floated this idea to Brett that maybe until her hardware situation improves, maybe she can play a browser game like Frog Fractions or some maybe just Tetris.
There's
even
plenty of browser games. If actually,
What
probably
version
even
of Minecraft
you maybe do like a Congregate, because Congregate has a lot of good games on it that you can just pull up on your browser.
Right. Yeah, and I'm thinking that'd be a good stopgap measure. I think she wanted
like a really good one that just came over to Steam recently is SAS 4, where you play like 3 different classes. You just do like a top-down mission-based zombie shooter.
Hey,
Nice.
can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
What kind of Minecraft is it? Because Windows Edition is, in terms of performance, is way better optimized.
I don't know. It's just
like I can't run vanilla Minecraft without just probably like a 5 frame per second frame rate, but that one runs as smooth as butter.
I don't know.
I'm not
When
sure.
I talked with Kylie, all she told me was that her laptop would not run Minecraft on it.
Is she using Windows or Java Edition?
I did not ask.
Well, go back and ask, and if it is Windows Edition, then yeah, that's probably a dead end there. But if not, ask her to give it a try.
Every time she uses Minecraft, it goes, ooh.
Oof.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Yeah, and if that
Well, I
doesn't,
mean, hey, if Minecraft doesn't work, there's always Roblox.
Or that Lego game.
Yeah.
or we could just have her play a browser game like we were saying. So
Yeah.
there's a backup plan. So we're gonna go back and speak with her about it, and hopefully we can get something started on that end soon. So that's basically all I wanted to talk about. We're coming up on hour 2, and that means we're getting ready for the freeform gaming section of the show. Tonight, guys, do we want to try GTA Online?
Do we want to?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
I have to.
Before we go any further, I just want to say, recently I just created a Mythoverse Steam group. So the link is in the Discord. Join that if you can.
Nice.
Oh,
And where is that exactly? Because I forgot to actually get into that.
Oh, and
Community announcements.
Oh, and after
Community
you announced the Steam thing, I made it. We had this talk about, what if the Mythoverse had a video game, and I actually made like a little sprite of Maeve.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, I completely forgot about that. Let me before we go any further here. I'm gonna bring that up so everyone can see it. Thanks for reminding me. Sometimes I flake. All right.
It's all good.
All right. So let me see. There we go. It's up on the stream right now.
Yeah. How long did you say that took you again, Dylan?
Like all I did was draw it, run some filters over it, and it took only like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Nice.
He said he's gonna have something worked on for also Adobe and Althea.
That's really cool. And I did mention offhandedly that I might be able to find someone that will help us expedite the process. It's one of my old friends. Actually, I have 2 fairly old friends that have been wanting to make a game for a while. They just need an IP to work on. So, Femlet.
God damn it, Gorgonite.
Oh God.
Femlet. Well, I mean, hey, someone has to be there for the manlets.
Yeah, what was also cool is that because I said if I was going to make a Changeling game, I'd want to make it in the style of Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and
Yeah, boy.
Oh, boy.
I was impressed that I was amazed that I was actually able to find someone who had actually managed to code the Legend of Zelda game engine.
Damn.
Nice. So yeah, that would be a good fit for Maeve, and I think it was discussed also that for Althea, it would be a point-and-click adventure problem-solving game would be pretty good.
Yeah, something like the
I imagine for Adobe, it'd be more like a side-scrolling hack and slash.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like either Castlevania. Actually, yeah, it's basically give her Castlevania.
Yeah, reverse engineer Castlevania, Ninja Gaiden, any one of those things should be really cool.
Yeah, it had to be punishingly difficult.
Yeah.
For Mythos,
It's like Adobe's life.
Yes.
Mythos, I was thinking something more like Snatcher, that old game. If anyone knows what I'm talking.
I think I can see that.
I think they would
respond to the Power Rangers. Trust me, the question will make sense in a minute.
Oh Lord.
Well, they'd have a hard time understanding like why they're dressed like that in such bright, silly.
Because he'd be the right age to have watched the show when she was young.
Oh, you're talking about if the Power Rangers.
I think so.
I mean, they've gone down in the middle.